What's good, everybody, man? This is your guy, Manny, and this is the Talking Sports with Manny YouTube channel. So, man, it's a few things that I'm excited about tonight's preseason game versus the Washington football team versus the New England Patriots. Not only is Cam Newton healthy, not only is Cam Newton a Russian quarterback, because I want to see how we do against running quarterbacks. And he's a quarterback, he's bigger, but he's still a running quarterback, one of the better running quarterbacks in the NFL. So I'm very interested to see how we play versus Cam Newton. Last year, we struggled versus the scrambling, running type quarterbacks, including Daniel Apple Pie Turnover Jones. So today, one of the things that I am looking forward to seeing is the D-line. Let's see what Chase Young looks like. Let's see what Montez Sweat looks like. They've been dominating in camp. They've been dominating versus some of our, O-linemen. But now I'm more intrigued to see what we look like versus somebody else. A lot of times when you're in practice and you're in camp going against the same people, you probably get comfortable. And then sometimes you might not want to go as hard as you want to go because they're family. It's like going against your younger brother. Like in this case, Samuel Cosme has been getting punked by Chase Young and Montez Sweat. So I am very, very intrigued to see what they look like versus somebody else's offensive line. So D-line, let's check that off my list. Next thing I want to see is Jonnu Smith versus Jamin Davis. Now, the reason why I highlight Jonnu Smith is that we struggled last year versus tight ends. You guys saw what happened last year in that first game versus the Eagles. We struggled. Both Dallas Goedert and Zach Ertz went off on us. And then that trend continued. That's something that we have struggled to do, is to cover the tight ends. So we go ahead and we draft the Jamin Davis in the first round to be that middle linebacker. He's also a linebacker that can cover very, very well. So what does that mean? Let's see what happens when we play a premier tight end. The reason why I highlight Jonnu Smith is that he can be used in the backfield. He's very, very versatile. So he's a guy that can do a lot of things. Look at my son. He's doing what I'm doing, man. You got to love it, man. Teaching him. He's learning the game. He's taking notes. I'm taking notes. We're doing this thing together. But anyways, Jonnu Smith versus Jamin Davis is something that I'm definitely looking forward to seeing because it's going to tell me if we're able to cover tight ends or not. And granted, the starters are going to play, but it's probably going to be for maybe a couple possessions, maybe a half of a quarter, maybe. So I'm looking forward to that matchup. Let's see how we look versus covering tight ends. Not only that, we're going to see if some of the other linebackers can offer something when it comes to tight end coverage. So I'm looking at, what's his name? Glee Hudson. That's another guy that I'm looking at. But this Jonnu Smith versus Jamin Davis, that first possession, that's going to tell me a lot about what to expect this season, even though you can't put your chips in on just one game. But Jamin Davis, they said you're athletic freak. Let's see if you can really do what they say that you can do. So I'm excited for that matchup. The next thing I want to see on my list is Terry McLaurin and Ryan Fitzpatrick connection. For those of us who play fantasy football, we are out here trying to see where to draft a Terry McLaurin. I think that Terry McLaurin is going to put up crazy numbers this year. If you guys have seen some of my other videos, I've told you guys that Terry is going to have at least 1,400 yards, 95 receptions or so, and 7 touchdowns. I think he's going to be not league lead, but team lead for touchdowns along with Logan Thomas. I have both guys for 7 touchdowns apiece. So I really want to see that first route, that first connection, that first completion from Fitzpatrick to Terry McLaurin. I want to see that dig route. I want to see bombs being thrown to Terry McLaurin this year. So that's something that I'm going to be looking at. Let's look at the target share as well. Every number one wide receiver that Terry has played with, the majority of the target share has gone to that wide receiver. So I know just one game, but that's just some of the things that I'm looking at. It got to start early. You got to develop good habits early, and then you hope that those habits propel into the regular season. Fourth thing on my list, juice. Are you thirsty? Say juice. Are you thirsty? So Benjamin St. Juice is a guy we drafted in the 3rd round, and he's been looking good. He's been going against some of the bigger wide receivers on the team. Not only do we have Jamin Davis for tight ends? Maybe sometimes you deploy a Benjamin St-Juste against some of those tight ends. He's 6'3", he's solid, he's fast, he's strong. Some of the guys that went to camp are telling me that, hey, he looks bigger than. So, guys, man, you guys know that I'm on a juice train. So I'm really trying to see what Benjamin St-Juste does this game. Then I can kind of see what he's going to look like in the regular season. So I'm excited for Benjamin St-Juste. Next on my list is the free safety position. What are we doing at the free safety position? In camp, we've seen a lot of Landon Collins and Cameron Curl pairing. So is Cameron Curl going to be playing the free safety or starting at that position, and then later on you're bringing a Bobby McCain or you're bringing some of these other guys? So it's really telling to see what we do to start the game at that free safety position. And can Cam Curl really flourish in that position? So I'm excited to see it. I'm not saying that I want to see Cam Curl at the free safety position, but that's definitely something that I'm going to be looking at. I know he's going to play some Buffalo. He's going to play some will linebacker. He's going to be used all over the field. I get that. Position flex. We get that. There's going to be times when we have 5 safeties out on the floor at the same time. I understand all that. But what I'm looking at is, what does the back end of this defense look like? We have Landon Collins coming back, who I'm going to get into, which is my next point. But I just want to see how we deploy our safeties. Are we keeping 4? Are we keeping 5? I mean, are you going to disguise a guy like Bobby McCain as a cornerback on the roster just to get that extra safety help? So let's see what happens. And also, we have to remember that Kendall Fuller can play some free safety. So that free safety position, I'm really intrigued to see how we deploy our players and who's playing where and who's playing in what spots and kind of how many snaps go to this guy, that guy. So I understand it's one game. I've said this again, but I just want to kind of see where we're headed. You know what I'm saying? Now, the last thing on my list is the return of Big Matt and the return of Landon Collins. Landon Collins has looked good. He has recovered from that injury in a big way. He's back. He's back, and he's ready to really show what he can do. If Landon Collins plays well, guess what? We can trade him and acquire asset. Right now, his value is so low. I think that we have a better chance of trading him at the trade deadline or even at the end of the season if he has a great season. So I think Landon Collins is in for a big year. This is pretty much make or break it for his career, honestly. You look at a guy like Clinton Dix, and he's just now just bouncing around. You know what I'm saying? So that's what happens if Landon Collins is cut. And let's say he has an okay season or a decent season and then he's cut. He's going to bounce around for the rest of his career. I think that he wants to solidify himself as a good premier safety in this league, even if it's top 10, top 15. Who knows? He might get traded and get extended, or he might get traded and then get another contract. I think there's another contract left for Landon Collins to go ahead and receive after this season if he plays well. So I'm looking forward to seeing him make a hit for the first time. I know they've been hitting in practice, but it's different. I want to see what he looks like after a big collision, like what he's looking like when he's moving side to side. Is he blitzing the quarterback? Is he able to, wrap up? Because last year, a little bit of the year, he struggled with tackling. So I'm expecting a big year out of Landon Collins. Now we go to Big Matt. We have a nice rotation on that D line. Tim Settle as well, who can leave after this season. So a lot of questions will begin to be answered just like the first preseason game. I want to see Matt out there. I want to see what he does, what he looks like. So those are 2 guys that I expect to have a big impact on this football team. So, guys, man, these are the 6 things that I'm looking forward to. Just a quick recap. The defensive line, Jonnu Smith versus Jamin Davis, Terry McLaurin and Ryan Fitzpatrick connection, Benjamin St-Juste, the free safety position, the return of Big Matt and Landon Collins. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope we have a great game today. I hope that we have something to talk about tomorrow. So I'm excited for this game. This is the beginning of something special, the beginning of something new. Once again, guys, this is the Talking Sports with Manny YouTube channel. If you're new to the channel, please like, please subscribe, and please share. I might be back on tonight with a live stream. I might be back on tomorrow with a live stream or even a video. So I'm just excited of where we're going, and we are out. Zeke, say peace. Peace.